today's video, we're talking all about how to shoot a thumb release style release aid. So let's dive into this. We're going to show you some tips and tricks to make you more accurate, more consistent shooting this type of release aid. And some reasons why you might want to switch to one of these if you're shooting one of these old trigger style release aids. So let's dive into this right now. As if you haven't already, like and subscribe. That way you can catch more content like this when we push it out. So today we're talking about the release aid like this, a thumb style release aid that has some type of barrel up here that you're going to place in the crook of your thumb to release that arrow instead of having a trigger style release. And these have a lot of advantages to them. If you have target panic where you're anticipating the shot, it's hard to keep that pin on your target, then this right here could help you out and it could eliminate that target panic. And it did for me. One thing with me is, I'm used to shooting a lot of guns and stuff, but for guns, it makes sense. But for bow and arrow, for some reason, I was having a hard time keeping that pin on the target. It was just something in my mind telling me, you can't put that pin on that target. So I guarantee you this probably happened to most of you too. So definitely try one of these thumb style releases. And essentially they have different configurations, different styles, but at the basis of them, they're kind of the same, have some type of trigger mechanism at the thumb and some connection piece up here that you're gonna put on your D-loop. But when you're in your anchor point, this is where it's gonna be a little bit different than another style release aid. I have nice relaxed fingers back here. Obviously you don't wanna have too relaxed or it's gonna fly out of your hand. But your anchor point for me is a little bit more consistent with this type of release. Back here, I'm holding the barrel right there in the crook of my thumb, and you can swivel this barrel to different areas if you want, but I like it back there. I like to roll my thumb around it, and when I'm at full draw, I'll go ahead and put a little bit more tension on that barrel and also push with my front hand, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades. The basis to using one of these is going to be to not have it too far in your hand. You just want to kind of have your first set of knuckles showing. That way it's a nice relaxed grip. I'm going to go ahead and place this barrel right here in the crook of my thumb. That way when I'm at full draw, I'm holding constant tension on it. And to make the shot go off, instead of just punching this just like you would a normal trigger and probably having target panic and stuff, this is going to eliminate that. At full draw, squeeze nice and easy on your shoulder blade. So you have tension here, nice and easy, and that shot is going to fire off, and it's going to be like an unintentional shot. And that's going to allow you to keep that pin on target without jumping or anticipating that shot. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So nice relaxed grip here on the release aid, pulling back. I'm going to cradle that thumb around that barrel. I'm going to find my anchor point, and I'm going to slowly put more tension on that barrel and pulling with my shoulder blade. All right, unintentional shot. That right there, I promise, is going to help you cure that target panic if you have it, just by using this release aid the correct way. And there's a bunch of different styles out there. There's some that are pressure activated, where the same thing, you're not going to have to actually put pressure on that for it to release. The mechanism itself, when it has enough pressure or tension created on it, it's going to fire off that shot. So those are some tips and tricks on how to use this thumb release aid. If you haven't used one before, go check one out. Go to a bow shop or something and ask if you can use a release aid like this to just fire a couple shots and try it out. And you're probably gonna like it, I promise. One thing that you don't want to do though is let go of this. They do make this right here, this little lanyard. I don't really use the lanyard. I probably should just take it off. But the first couple times that you shoot one of these, definitely use the lanyard, because what a lot of people do is instead of releasing the shot, they'll actually release the whole aid, and it's gonna slam forward and everything and probably bust you up pretty bad. So that could create a big incident you don't want to happen. So use that lanyard the first couple shots that you use until you get used to it. And then you can kind of move into maybe taking it off or something like that once you get used to it. And that's gonna make it a little bit more relaxed, because for me, I don't like this lanyard kind of just hanging around. And if I was gonna be using this for hunting, I would definitely take it off. That way I can just kind of hang this thing on my bow. And that's another cool thing about a thumb release aid. If you got your bow hanging up in your bow rack or on a limb or something like that, look at this. You just dangle it there, and when you see a deer, you're just able to go ahead and draw instead of leaving this on your wrist. You know, it's kind of weird, right? And you have the tendency to clang it off your stand or something like that. This right here is just a little bit more cumbersome, and it's a little bit more outdated than using one of these thumb release aids. Not to say you can't be super accurate with this. A lot of people that use these. I mean, Cameron Hanes still uses one, and he's awesome. One of the best out there. So those are some tips and tricks, guys, and a little bit of practical application to it. So if you're into hunting and stuff like that, it's just some of my tips and tricks that I've experienced over the years. So go out there, check one of these thumb releases out, give it a try, and you might like it. Guys, like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Catch other videos on the channel about archery and other outdoor related stuff, and we'll catch you in future videos. Thanks for watching.